Eric Stromer, and you're watching Tom's River TV.
And welcome back to Heather's Decadent Guide to the Jersey Shore. You just had a little bit of a taste of End of an Era, one of the great local bands around here. I am now going to be able to ask them some questions. Let me first start off by introducing everybody in the band. I'm going to start closest to me. Justin, wave. This is Justin. That's Jeff Wallace. That's Stephen Blair on the keyboard. Jeff Spagnola. And that is Jeff Rogan. I remembered. I was just kidding. So I'm going to start off by saying all of you have been a part of the local scene for years now. Like I said, I started in about 6th grade. I started following the local music scene. You guys have been around for pretty much just as long as I have. Over the past 10 years or so, how do you think the local music scene has changed? And do you think it's a positive thing or a negative thing? I like the sound effects.
Justin once said this answer. The pants got tighter.
Pants got tighter?
Pants got very tight.
Meaning?
Meaning there was a lot of, rap metal back in the day when we first started out, when we were in, 10th grade or something like that. Mm-hmm. And everybody was wearing UFOs, including Justin.
Yes.
And including...
That's not okay. It's okay.
Yeah, he does.
So do I, but
And then over time, it seemed that people decided to put down the rapping and start... I don't even know what people are doing these days.
Screaming.
They're screaming.
It's all screaming. Yeah, there's an extreme lack of talent going around. I think everyone's settling for mediocre, and there's too many bands in the scene now. Whereas there used to be musicians that formed good bands. I think everyone thinks they're in a band now. So that's my opinion.
It's kind of the trendy thing to be in a band now.
Yeah, it's the trendy thing. It's cool to be in a band. I don't think kids go to shows because they want to go to shows. I think they want to go hang out with their friends who play music.
I tend to agree. I remember back in the day, I used to be able to go to any venue in the area. There used to be, everybody wanted to cater to the local music scene. It was never a problem finding a gig with the sound effects. It was never a problem. Finding some place to go. If you wanted to see a local show, you can choose from 5 places in Tom's River alone. I know Brick used to cater to it. South Tom's River used to cater to it.
Brick VFW used to be the place to have
That
shows.
was I remember the Brick VFW. It's kind of crazy now because it's getting harder and harder to find shows around here. You start having to travel. Introduce me to her.
My girlfriend. We
share. Jeff, don't say that on TV.
We share.
Okay, now what I'm going to ask you guys, since this show is based on the Jersey Shore and the Jersey Shore nightlife, if you had to say what the sound of the shore was right now, what is the sound of the shore?
Waves crashing.
Come on now, musically, you know what I mean.
Musically, not us.
Not you?
No.
There's a lot of horns and a lot of people trying to sound like Bruce Springsteen or Sublime or something like that. And we don't want to do that.
What do you
think?
think?
That's why we're all dressed in black right now.
And I'm just throwing this out there for everyone that's watching this show. We don't usually play acoustic like this. We do occasional appearances like this, but we're a heavy electronic band usually. So.
Yes, you are. I've seen a couple of your shows. Just a couple. Okay, now I'm going to ask you, you guys have played, I know off the top of my head, a few huge gigs that you guys have had, a huge few shows that you guys have played, but I'm going to ask you personally, what has been your favorite gig or show as End of an Era, and why?
All right, well, mine was definitely Brazil. I mean, we got to travel out to Brazil. I took the obvious one. That one was incredible. Just getting to play overseas to people that didn't understand what we had to say was really cool.
The Monterey Jazz Festival?
Is that what you were trying to say?
Yes.
Bamboozle's first weekend. The first time we played Bamboozle.
I heard Bamboozle got a little crazy.
Things were broken.
Just things.
The second Bamboozle weekend.
What? You're crazy.
Come on, it was a good time.
Do we have a feud?
He got to meet a lot of people that weekend.
No, actually, I
Me?
remember the first weekend. First year.
Me.
Well, first we actually met MC Hammer.
Yeah.
No
He
way.
did a shout out on video for us.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
Was he wearing the pants?
No.
Really?
Was anybody making fun of him for the pants?
No, he was actually everybody was like, oh my god, it's MC Hammer and stuff like that.
MC Hammer would not curse.
Really?
Would not curse.
He
Really?
would not curse.
We
Is
tried-
he?
We tried to get him to curse at us, and he would.
That's
No, he would not.
That's interesting. That has to be fun. Now, speaking of your gigs and your tours, Brazil, Bamboozle, you had to have had a couple of embarrassing moments.
Never.
Oh, come on. I've seen a couple. If you had to pick your most embarrassing moment, either one of you separately or as a band, what do you think it would be? Whether it was on stage, off stage?
Every morning when I wake up, and I realize that I'm still around these people. That's kind of embarrassing.
Every morning, actually, I did wake up next to him one morning.
Okay.
No, seriously, we were in.
Yeah, me and Steve were sleeping buddies.
That's another chat and another
Well, no, 'cause
show.
when
Well, when you tour.
you tour, you gotta share beds, you know.
The only thing that's not normal is your sleeping buddy putting his arms around you in the middle of the night. That usually doesn't happen except for, with us.
Listen, I had a few too many drinks that night. Isn't this show about the Jersey Shore nightlife?
Yes, it is, and that's why I'm going to get back to your music, actually, because I want to focus on you guys. I want to focus back on you guys and your music. Now, what do you use as inspiration? Is it stuff that is it other bands that you draw upon, or is it stuff from your real life? What is it that you use for inspiration?
Shows like
Nothing that I can really say on the air. Am I?
Because you're on the
Justin
air.
go. Okay.
My arm's just gonna be on camera.
Oh, okay, cool. I don't know. We like to really just antagonize people. That's been our goal since the very beginning. Is when we go on stage, it's like a it's like an emo crowd or whatever crowd, and we go on stage with the intent of making them feel uncomfortable.
My musical influences is the old Casio keyboard demos.
Nice.
I used to love those, dude.
Red button, yeah, those are my favorite.
All right, guys. Now we're gonna go to a quick break. We're gonna be
Quick break.
back with End of an Era. Maybe we can get some more information from them. We're gonna have them play again as well. So please stay tuned, and hope to see you then. And we're back. Thanks for joining us again on Heather's Decadent Guide to the Jersey Shore. You just heard a little bit of a taste of End of an Era. I'm back again to ask them some more questions about the local music scene, get a little bit more information from them. So I'm gonna start. Now, what I get a lot, I push for you guys a lot. I always promote all your shows. I tell everybody to come and see you. It's hard for me to describe your sound because, like you guys had mentioned earlier, you're so different from other things going on around the Jersey Shore. If you had to describe your sound and your style of music, how would you describe it?
Sexy.
Thanks, Brogan.
mass destruction.
Mass destruction?
Mass destruction, yeah.
No, how do you think?
Not pleasant.
Not
fun.
pleasant? I think you guys are
It's
pleasant.
pleasant.
It's definitely pleasant.
Okay, it's pleasant.
It might be pleasant to listen to.
Try not
but
to be pleasant.
The message isn't so pleasant. And we try to scare people.
But you guys have such a strong message, and all the messages delivered in your songs, I think you have some viable points in all your lyrics. I mean, listening to your songs.
Well, we try to, because there's a lot of people that don't really have anything to say these days. So we
Yeah.
try to say something,
we
whether
try-
people believe it or not.
We try not to sing about dance parties and what we did last night.
Partying in the USA.
It's too much of it.